Hi, today's video is a look at a vintage lens from the 80s that came as a kit lens. It's the Canon FD 50mm f2. So it's only an f2 and it's an old vintage lens. I picked this up in a pawn shop in Japan for just over 500 yen. It worked out about £2.50, £2.75, something like that in UK money. In US dollars, I will also put that on the screen. So for that kind of money, I couldn't give it a miss. I thought I'd give it a try. So if I look at it here, you can see I put a KNF adapter on it. So I've looked at other vintage lenses before. This is not one of the best I've looked at, I will be honest, but it's still a pretty nice image, and for that price you can't go wrong. The build quality is quite good. It's got your focus here, it's got your aperture ring, and it's nice and light. Quite good for walking around doing street photography or even videography. The aperture on it goes from f2 to f16. It's a clicky aperture. It's more of a photography lens that can be used for video. It's got a 52mm filter thread on it, so you can put ND filters or other types of filters depending what you want on there. And it's a pretty simple design. And it looks pretty good. It's not the best of all the vintage lenses I've played around with, but it's fun for going out. It's light, easy to use, and you get some pretty decent images with it. Of course, there is some problems. You can see a lot of color fringing on things, but sometimes that can add to the image. Compared to a Takamar 55 f1.8 I have here, I found the focusing much better on this. This is an older lens from the 60s compared to this one from the 80s, and generally I found it much better to use. It also has a much bigger front element, as you can see here, my googly eyes. And I'll be honest, I do prefer the images from the Takamar. The aperture ring on it can be quite stiff, as you can see here. A little bit of a delay as well when it opens. Here's just some pictures I took randomly walking around. To get that vintage look, this is a very cheap way of doing it. And as it was a cheap kit lens, I don't expect too much from it with the f2 aperture. You could obviously upgrade it for an f1.8 or higher. FD lenses have a bit of a reputation for being very good and also looking a little bit like the cinema variant. I don't know if I'd go that far with this one, but this is what I got. If you saw one for cheap on eBay or something like that, would I recommend picking up? Yeah, sure, why not? I think playing around with vintage lenses is really good fun. It puts your mindset in a different place. It's manual, of course, so you haven't got that choice of using autofocus. It makes you think about the lens a little bit more, how you're going to use it. It makes you think about using the camera more, setting up, punching into it and checking the focus is right. As a place to start, it's very easy to adapt vintage lenses. You can get a lot of adapters out there. They're all over at Amazon and camera stores. So I use the KNF Concept adapter here. It's very easy to take off. You've got them both there, and then you can adapt it, in this case to Sony E-mount. With an adapter you can adapt it to any modern mirrorless camera. This one was only a cheaper kit lens, but still a fun lens to pick up and walk around with. Build quality is pretty good, better than some mod lenses really, because it's very metally and it's got a good hard feeling. For this I'm not going to give you a technical description, but I'm going to let the images speak for themselves. Then if you like the Canon FD lenses, there's plenty of them out there and you can get some of the better ones and then give them a try. You can see here when it's held in the right light, you do get some rainbow flaring. And here you can see there's a lot of ghosting. In fact, look at this little ghost. It's tracked backwards and forwards. The little ghost goes backwards and forwards. Little blue ghost there. You almost want to call the Ghostbusters, it's so strong. But some people like it, it can add character. Okay, that's a quick look at this lens. Some of the images, you can see it has quite a few faults in it. It's nowhere near a perfect lens at all. Of course, you're going to get flaring, you're going to get a lot of chromatic aberration, you're going to get some distortion. Not so bad because it's 50mm, but you'll get some. So it's nowhere near a perfect lens, but it's good for a character lens. Also, it's quite sharp and quite contrasty compared to some more vintage lenses. So it's in between a more modern look and a more classic kind of vintage lens as well. It's that nice in between, I guess. Not spot on super sharp like modern lenses, sharp enough, also with enough character to give some feeling. And I think that's what these kind of vintage lenses to me are all about. It's about the feeling and the look you can get with them rather than their technical ability. If you've got anything you'd like to add about Canon FD lenses, any lenses you own yourself, any thoughts on the lenses, any recommendations on the lenses, or maybe something I should pick up myself, please let me know. Put them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.